let's get rid of that. So this next one, I was very close to not putting this on the list today. But there was something crossed my mind, and I thought maybe it could bring up a discussion. And that's, Brad Pitt is looking to retire soon, or he's planning to retire at some point in time. He actually said something here. I'll just bring up that card real quick.
I sneeze every show. I don't know why, but I think the last 5 shows we've done, I sneeze at least one time.
I sneeze when I get nervous. That's it. That's it. All right. Brad Pitt had this to say. He was talking to GQ magazine, and he says, I consider myself on my last leg, the last semester or trimester. What is this section going to be? And how do I want to design that? So, again, another just small, little, teeny tiny quote, but it says a lot. Brad Pitt's been around since I was a little kid. He's had a solid 30-year career. And that's literally he's been in acting for more than 30 years, but we're talking in the limelight for 30 years. He's been well known for 30 years. And his quote, again, I consider myself on my last leg. How am I going to design that? What's that going to be? And it started resonating with me. It started sounding like, it reminded me of Jim Carrey. And I thought, is this kind of like the Jim Carrey effect? Jim Carrey came out and said, I've done enough. I have enough. I am enough. It was very philosophical, and just I wonder if other actors like Brad Pitt heard that and they go, damn, man, I have done enough. I am enough. I don't need acceptance from everybody. Hollywood has lied to me. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. As a little reference to an old SNL skit, if anybody remembers that. So is there anything that you can unpack with this, Seth? Do you think maybe Jim Carrey might set a trend moving forward with actors? Because it seems like actors live their life they constantly Botox their face up, they get surgery, I mean, look at Joe Pesci, for crying out loud. In the 90s, watching his movies now in HD, you can see where he had a pullback. You can see his skin being pulled back, where they cut it and stretch it back, so they irons out those wrinkles and they staple it back together. HD really revealed a lot of that sort of thing going on. And now I think, Jim Carrey might be leading the way of actors having a new appreciation for themselves. I don't know. Do you hear what I say? Do you think I'm full of shit, or do you think this is maybe there's something to this?
I can see what you're saying, and I honestly kind of hope this starts a new trend, because they seem happy with where they are. Like Jim Carrey, like you said, he straight up said, I am enough, I've done enough, and all that stuff. And I hope more actors can start, seeing that, And what I'm about to say, I'm not saying Brad Pitt's old, but I'm saying Brad Pitt is getting older,
right?
So
I mean, the guy's way older than me, but he looks my age, So
if he, if he did retire, then good for him, because he's done a lot of, really popular movies. He's an A-list actor. I know he's in Bullet Train, right? That's coming out in a few months.
Yes, that's coming out soon.
People are looking forward to that one. Obviously, a Fight Club, 7, those are just iconic movies. So,
well, and then again, his quote says, "What is that section going to be, and how am I going, and how do I want to design that?" I think that's a very powerful sentence or question. And how do I want to design that? Sorry, the quote says "wanna," and it really bothers me. How do I want to design that? There's another angle here. Maybe the Jim Carrey effect is not the right angle. It's one theory, but another one is, maybe he's I've always kind of played these, he's played a leading man role, but maybe he wants to fall into a more artsy stuff and maybe dive into some method acting and try something new, and because maybe he doesn't want to be done acting, and that's okay. But maybe it's going to allow him to try new things and just experiment with stuff that's out of his norm.
Yeah.
You know, and I would like to see that too. I think it's just very encouraging to see an actor think, you know, ahead of this and like, you know, and start planning stuff like that out. You know, I think that's a very responsible way to handle your career. You know, I think another person who did this was like, or almost fell into the wrong path of this, is Sylvester Stallone. You know, for a while, it seemed like Sylvester Stallone was just like, okay, let's do another Rambo. Okay, let's do another Rocky.
Yeah.
You know, but recently I've noticed him doing more things out of his realm. He's got that superhero movie coming out. He was very creative of taking the back seat but being a co-star in Creed, which is a continuation of Rocky, but it was a whole different idea. You know, it was a whole different creation. But then he did that Rambo movie, and that was a piece of shit. That movie, that Home Alone 30, pretty much is what that was.
I don't even hate that movie. I'm not gonna lie.
I know listen, it wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't a Rambo movie.
I know it's a little off topic, but I'm just throwing it out there real quick. I've seen every Rambo movie. That's one of the better ones. I think the first one is still the best one. But
yes, the first to me, the first one and the fourth one.
I didn't like the fourth one.
The one where, like, to me, the fourth one, that's the one that's just simply called Rambo, right?
Yeah, that's the one that like takes a turn for the franchise. Like the first one, you know, is like a character study, and then you have 2 and 3, which are just cliche action 80s movies, and then you have the fourth one, which kind of goes back to the character study side of things. But I didn't like it.
And that's what I enjoyed about it. Like, to me, you take out 2 and 3, you can go from 1 to 4, and it's almost seamless. It's almost like, hey, here's the same guy you saw in the first movie, you know, 25 years later. That's what I really enjoy about it. That seems like the correct trajectory for that character to go.
My only problem with that was I didn't like any of the side characters, and they spent a lot of time focusing on them. Like,
well, they did. You're right.
I couldn't get attached to them.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I think the lady, they're trying to get you attached to the lady in the movie and stuff. But, you know, I think their point was to make these characters not likable, but it doesn't matter. You know, he's just doing his thing. I think that was the whole goal. You know, it doesn't, that could have been anybody, you know, but like once the part arose that they were trying to help, you know, and they need to get these supplies to these people or whatever they were doing, you know, Rambo can't help but to help people. Right. You know, and I believe that one was actually directed by Sylvester Stallone.
It was, yeah.
You know, and then it's set up for, you know, the Rambo Last Blood by him going back to his farmhouse and all that. But then Last Blood, it didn't fit. It seemed like he had the name, he had everything that seemed Rambo, except that was Demolition Man. It wasn't Rambo. You know, that wasn't.
Yeah, I know what you
Rambo.
mean.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. You cut your hair, put the bandana on, do something Rambo. But anyway, yeah, the point, we went off track there, but the point was Brad Pitt is looking to retire soon. He's wanting to plan that out and see how he wants to design that. And as we theorized here, that could lead to a few different directions. Number one, the thing I'm calling the Jim Carrey effect, where, you know, like, hey, you know what? Jim Carrey's the man. I am enough. I've done enough. I have enough. I'm going to sit back and enjoy the rest of my life, you know, doing whatever the fuck I want to do. You know, Jim Carrey, in his case, that's painting. You know, he sits in a studio and paints. That's amazing. I think that's beautiful, but it's not the only way out. Brad Pitt could also just be like, hey, I want to try, you know, to extend my acting abilities and do something different than what I've done the past, you know, 30 plus years of my career. So I think that's very, very noble. I really enjoyed just seeing an actor thinking about that sort of thing. So, if you guys, what do you guys think about Brad Pitt possibly retiring soon? We don't know what soon means. And I say retiring because that's what it seemed like he was leading to, but it could also mean just changing his career path a little bit. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you. Oh my gosh, everybody's blowing up my phone. What do you want? I swear nobody calls me all day until either right before I'm on a live stream or I'm doing a live stream. That's when they're like, oh, Steve's live. Let's call him. unless you want to call the show, then you call after the live stream.